With Season 2 finally here, there's no better time than now to optimize your settings and make your game feel like you're playing at the NASA headquarters. Okay, maybe not that smooth, but if you stick around till the end, your game will 100% feel brand new, so you won't want to miss this. Before we're able to show you guys the optimization methods that will make your game look like that, we need to make sure your in-game video settings are optimal. Starting off with your window mode. Now go ahead and stick to 1920 by 1080. Now some players have been experimenting with 1600 by 900 and sometimes even custom resolutions, but the slight boost in performance you might notice just isn't worth your game looking like a PlayStation 1 classic. Even if your monitor is VSync compatible, it is still advisable to disable it. VSync simply doesn't work that well in Fortnite and can oftentimes reduce your performance capabilities. For your frame rate limit, it's going to come down to what your monitor can support. For a 240Hz monitor, you should set your frame limit to 240. For a 144Hz monitor, set it to 144. And if you're using a 60Hz monitor, simply set it to 60 and you should be good to go. However, if you know that your PC isn't the greatest and won't be able to consistently run at the frame rate your monitor can support, go ahead and set your frame limit to the next lowest setting. Doing this will allow you to play at a consistent frame rate and avoid noticeable frame drops. Now, just because you can barely scrape 200 frames per second doesn't mean you should be expecting to play at it consistently. As for brightness, this really just comes down to personal preference. Most players stick to 100%, but some swear by 110%. Either way, it's not going to have any impact on your game performance. Just like your brightness, your colorblind mode won't have any impact on your game performance, and it is only a visual preference. Most players won't even use one at all. But if you want to see how they compare with one another, check this out. Here's Tritanope, Protanope, and Deuteranope side by side. They don't look too different, but if one floats your boat, go for it. If you're serious about improving, head on over to ProGuides.com where you can access all of our courses and bootcamp content for just $7.99. And if personalized coaching is more your speed, you'll get 10% off any session with any of our pros. Although tweaking your in-game settings is the best way to enhance your game performance, there are some additional measures you can take outside of the game to give yourself an extra boost. By opening your NVIDIA control panel and selecting the Adjust Image Settings with Preview option, followed by choosing Use the Advanced 3D image settings and clicking Take Me There, you can ensure that you'll be getting the best performance possible. To confirm that your settings match up with what you see on the screen, feel free to pause the video here. Now, while these settings changes may be more effective for some than others, it is definitely worth giving them a try. Alright Fortnite fam, it is time for the question of the day. What do you think of the new Neo Tokyo theme and visuals? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Now go to your settings and select graphics quality and see how we can get your game running at full speed. You can set your quality presets to low, but let's be a little bit more specific. Turn off the anti-aliasing and super resolution, leave the temporal super resolution at recommended, and then move on to 3D resolution. 3D resolution is where you really notice those FPS changes, so take it off 100% and lower it down to 80. You don't want this to be too low or you'll have a hard time seeing things in game. However, if you're playing on a potato and you can handle the changes, then you can lower it even further. Next, you're going to want to turn the following settings off: Dynamic 3D resolution, nanite virtualized geometry, shadows, global illumination, and reflections. Now we can move on to view distance. We've already cut a lot, and cutting down view distance to low will definitely help you maintain FPS. However, before you do that, check to see how well your game is running, because if you can spare it, you could also set your view distance to medium, which will help you see more during the match instead of being half blind. Now, set your textures to low and your auto download high resolution textures to off as well. You might as well also remove high resolution texture reminders. Then finally turn down the effects and post-processing to low. Now in advanced graphics, you might notice a section called NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, and this is for PCs using NVIDIA cards, and depending on how beefy your PC is, you can try adjusting it a little. With a medium spec PC, you can turn it on, but if you're running something even beefier, then turn on that boost. This should help you with latency most of the time, but try it out for yourself and see if it works for you. Now that we've addressed your performance settings, let's take a look at some methods to lower your ping and overall improve your internet connection. Even if you've only built a few walls in Fortnite, you'd understand the impact that ping can have on your overall gameplay experience, especially when you come across the more skilled opponents. A delay of just a few extra extra milliseconds can determine whether you survive or get sent back to the lobby early. Although most Fortnite players dream of playing on 0 ping, anything in the 20 to 30 range is really all you need. Unlike game performance, the downside with ping is that there are only so many things you can do to reduce your latency. One approach, and typically the most successful, is to use wired Ethernet connection instead of Wi-Fi. Ethernet connections offer several advantages over Wi-Fi connections, making them the clear way to go for ping-intensive games like Fortnite. One of the primary benefits of an Ethernet connection is stability. Unlike Wi-Fi, Ethernet connections are not affected by other wireless devices or obstructions that can weaken the signal. Ethernet cables connect directly to the router, which means they aren't impacted by environmental factors such as walls or interference from other wireless networks. Another advantage of Ethernet connections is bandwidth. Ethernet cables can transmit data at faster speeds and with more consistency than Wi-Fi, which can become bogged down by network congestion and other factors that might impact signal strength. And for those of you playing at setups far away from your router, we've got you covered. All you need is a Wi-Fi range extender. What this device does is connects you to your home network and extends the range of where your Wi-Fi will reach. All you need to do is configure the extender to your internet and run an Ethernet cord from the device to your computer, and you're good to go. Using a Wi-Fi range extender definitely won't offer the same speeds that a standard router connection would, but it is a big step up from standard Wi-Fi. Now, if your internet connection is still weak, you can adjust your DNS server. Type View Network Connections in your Windows search bar. Open the control panel and right-click on your internet connection to access the Properties tab. Double-click on Internet Protocol version 4 and select the option to change your DNS server address. Now, we'd recommend using Google's DNS server, and you can do this by typing 8888 under the preferred DNS server box and 8884 under the alternative DNS server box. Now, some users may notice a significant improvement in their connection, while others may not notice any difference at all. Regardless, it is still worth giving it a try to see if it works for you. If you've already applied the optimization settings we covered earlier and you're still not satisfied, there's no need to worry. There are some small changes you can make to improve overall performance. First off, make sure any program or internet tab that you are not using is fully closed. Random applications like Spotify and Discord running in the background can significantly affect your frames and internet speed, leading to, well, additional input delay. Even having a blank Chrome tab open can make a considerable difference, especially for those of you with less than 16 gigabytes of RAM. Even the pro players with top-tier computers only keep the necessary applications open while playing. Also, if you use a multiple monitor setup and have a live wallpaper, make sure you either set the speed to 0 or disable it entirely. Although the wallpaper may look cool, there's no point in running it while playing, as it could impact your performance. Did you know configurations from older seasons might still be causing you performance issues? This is why at the start of each season, you need to go into the files and reset your configs manually. Now, it might take a bit of legwork, but it is a lot simpler than it looks. If you follow all the way through, not only will your game perform better, you'll get more options to boost your FPS. Hit the Windows key and R key at the same time, and this will open up a command box where you'll need to type in the following: %local app data %. Go to the F section of the files that pop up and locate, well, the Fortnite folder. Now from here, you're going to be duplicating the Fortnite game folder. You can either keep both copies using one of them as backup, or delete the old one and keep the new one. To start, right-click on the game folder and rename it to something else, say Fortnite Game 1. Now you're going to want to boot up the game, and this should add a second folder to the list. You can delete the original or keep it somewhere safe. Regardless, next time you boot into Fortnite after this, you should see your lobby with a bluish background. This is the lower input delay backdrop. If you see this, then you have successfully reset your configs. Another indicator that the process was a success can be seen when you go into your settings menu and see that the video settings have, well, gone back to default. So don't forget to reconfigure everything to favor the higher FPS you want. Use the tips from this video when putting everything back together. Click on the Fortnite game file, go into saves, and now click on configs and into the Windows client. Here you will find one last file called Gamer User Settings Ini. Right-click on it and go to Edit. This will show you all of your properly updated config files, which you will be able to modify to reach even higher FPS. Don't forget to visit ProGuides.com and level up your skills as well. Is your RAM giving you the performance you paid for? Now this is how you can check. Pull up the task manager with Control-Alt-Delete and then check the tabs above for performance. Now click on memory and check speed. If it's working properly, it should be running at default speeds. Don't forget to check the model of RAM and compare the figures. If it's lower, then that means it's time to enable XMP. Keep in mind, this is not an overclock, but rather a way to get your RAM working at the speed it should be. Press down Shift and restart. Your PC will restart and you'll have options. Click on Troubleshoot and Advanced Options and go to UEFI Firmware Settings and then restart. Now, this part might vary depending on your motherboard manufacturer, but you should be given an option to enable XMP. And if you have AMD, XMP might be worded differently, such as an Expo profile or DOCP. Now, save and exit. With your RAM now running at the correct speed, it should improve your performance while playing Fortnite, as well as give you a boost in other games as well. If you found this Season 2 settings guide helpful, don't be afraid to leave a like and drop a comment on what you'd like to see next. Also, make sure you're subscribed with post notifications turned on so you never miss another one of our videos.